All right. What's up, traders? What's up, tycoons? We're going to go over Flux real quick. Okay. The Flux token, ticker symbol FLUX. All right. Breaking things down on the daily time frame as always. There's a couple signals that you guys can use to spot potential entries and exits. We'll go over those on the MACD as well as the RSI. And teach you about those. All right. Now, we did break through some of our bearish price targets, the first one and the second one. We do have a third one to the downside if we want to continue this bearishness at the moment, as well as our major overhead resistance levels. So make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're going to break down all of this for you guys so that you guys can learn something new. We'll also give a shout out to today's sponsor, the Tangem wallet. Now, Tangem is a hardware wallet. All right, it actually looks just like a credit card. It's completely waterproof. We'll go into them more later in the video. As you should know by now, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. You want to get your money off of these exchanges and into a safe wallet. Now, full disclaimer, the content provided on this YouTube channel is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. Trading in stocks, bonds, commodities, and crypto involve a significant risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. So be sure to read through the full disclaimer, all right? And we'll go ahead and hop into today's video. And the first thing I want to go over is actually how to spot potential entries. Okay. That's something that a lot of people are focused on is, when do I buy? When do I buy? Right. And they don't really have a game plan heading into things. They don't really necessarily have an area where they're looking to sell. So one thing you can look for is something known as bullish divergence. All right, if you're not familiar with that term, it's actually very simple. It just sounds a little complicated, but take a look at how we have, these essentially these equal lows here, right? We have a low and then we have an equal low here indicated by these two circles. If you actually look at your RSI down here, remember the RSI is your relative strength index, and it's going to show you the relative strength of a token at its given price. And what we can see is we make a low and then a higher low at the same exact points where we're creating these lows, these equal lows on the chart of the token. So in this case, when you're increasing in relative strength and price action is staying the same or going lower, then you have a bullish divergence, and it's an indicator you could potentially see some bullish activity. And we did get a very big spike right there in the price of Flux. All right, I went over that in the last video. And then if you take a look here, we also had some question marks. What was the MACD going to do, right? And we see a crossover on the MACD of this red line above the yellow line, and this is typically known as an entry signal, right? So we end up getting an entry signal on the MACD plus bullish divergence on the RSI, and as you can see, we had a strong rally to the upside, but we were not able to break past our major resistance levels, right? Which are the 61.8, the 50%, and the 38.2% retracement levels. And we use these because these are the three most common and well-respected Fibonacci retracement levels because nothing moves in a straight line down and nothing moves in a straight line up, right? And so we had a very big move to the downside. We retraced, weren't able to break above a dollar 0.038, all right? And we ultimately headed back down. Okay, and then here we retraced again and we couldn't get back above that 0.794, right? We were able to get above it very briefly, but we couldn't flip it to support from resistance and ultimately break out above. So until we break above $1.03 for right now, 1.038, everything down below here is still going to be bearish or sideways consolidation, right? Ultimately, if we can flip a $0.038 to support from resistance, that's when we have a chance of a larger scale upside reversal, right? And that's one of the main things we'll be paying attention to. Now, you can also spot some exit signals using the MACD and the RSI again as well, right? So here's that bullish divergence trend line connecting these lows. And you can see we bounced off of here, right? Just where we bounced off of that trend line, we pushed up higher. And ultimately, when you break through this this bullish divergence trend line, that's an area to potentially look to go short or take a position off, right? And close a position. And you can see we broke through here, we retested that trend line, and then we continued heading lower, and we had a very strong push to the downside afterwards. You combine that with also a MACD exit signal where the red line crosses below the yellow line instead of above the yellow line. And the MACD line crossing below is typically known as an exit signal. We got a large exit signal and we had a big move to the downside, right? So, this is how you can use some of these tools, some of these signals. If you look, the red line is trying to cross above the yellow line right now on the MACD. We do have a little bit of some bullish divergence again, where the red, we're creating these essentially equal lows. We see the RSI is going up, right? And we do have a little bit of, the red line trying to get above. Ultimately, we want to see it create some space between that yellow line. Right now, they're pretty much just trading right next to each other. That could be potentially an entry signal on Flux. These are some of the things you want to look out for. 0.542 and 0.631 are currently going to be some of the big resistance levels. Okay, as you can see, we rejected 0.631 many times over here. We headed lower, and 0.542 was also another key area right here where we consolidated a little bit. And so those will be the key areas. Below to the downside, 0.429 is my next major support level. So keep an eye on all of those. If you look at today's sponsor, which is the Tangem wallet, okay, Tangem is really cool. It actually looks like a regular credit card, and it functions without any batteries, wires, and connectors. It's sold in packs of 2 or 3 cards, and the additional cards are used for key backup, which is really awesome because most other hardware wallets do not have backup options. So, now gone are the days where if you, lost your hardware wallet or something happened to it and you essentially lost that crypto forever. We've all heard stories about people, forgetting their password or losing their hard wallet. And, they bought a bunch of Bitcoin back in the day, and now Bitcoin skyrocketed, and, they just have no access to that. So gone are those days. The setup time is about 1 to 3 minutes. I really love that. It only took me about 2 minutes to get mine set up. It's super easy to use. You just scan and activate, then you set up the password, and you can start making transactions right away. What you want to do is go to the Google Play Store or go to the Apple App Store, download the Tangem app today. And when you go to make your purchase, use code ZACHLY. That will get you a discount on your purchase. What's really neat about it is it's also completely waterproof and freeze proof. It's also temperature resistant, and it's DeFi compatible. You can exchange, buy NFTs, make loans and deposits in more than 100 different decentralized applications, compatible with over 2,700 cryptocurrencies. I highly recommend using the Tangem wallet today. All right, and when you go to make that purchase, use code ZACHLY. That will get you a discount.